Hey, this is Jesse with Create This. This is going to be a little bit of a retrospective video, and by that I mean I've got a lot of systems in place around the house, automated systems, electrical systems, things like that, and things go wrong with them. In this particular case, we had a week of pretty heavy rain for this area, and like flood warnings and stuff like that. It was just constant. You may have recalled from my my previous videos about the Goal Zero Yeti 400 that I had like a solar panel, and I had the Yeti 400 underneath the solar panel, and so the 100-watt solar panel was kind of acting like a little roof to keep some of the rain off. I thought that would be enough to protect it. I was wrong. The Yeti is mostly okay. It's partially broken, but it's actually not from that rainwater that it broke, at least as far as I can tell. But when I got it out of there, I had to go mow my front lawn, which I'll show in a minute, with the RoboMow. And to do that, I've got these remote perimeter stakes, and so they basically drive like the perimeter wire for the RoboMow. And I'll show one of those in a minute. I'll show the insides of one. I'll take it apart and strip it down and show you, because one of those failed too. I'll show you how that failed. But so in order to power those, like there used to be, I think they used to sell them with like a holder on the back that would contain C-cell batteries, and C-cell batteries are very much like out of vogue these days. Hardly anybody ever uses them anymore. They're more like a 80s and 90s kind of thing, right? So now they're shipping them with these AC adapters. And what I found was that the AC adapters are not waterproof. And so we didn't know that. The units themselves are partially waterproof, and I'll take it apart and I'll show you the rubber seal around the circuit board. But the AC adapter is not waterproof. So I guess what they think is that they think that you'll have the AC adapter portion, itself, like inside like a waterproof enclosure of some kind, like a plastic housing where your AC outlet is outside. And then you'll just run the wire, and I guess, the wire is waterproof enough. You'll run the wire to the stake, and then your whole system will be waterproof. But they don't say that anywhere on the box. So what I do is I bring my Goal Zero, my Yeti, from the back porch where the solar panels are out to the front porch, and I just plug in the AC adapter. So those AC adapters are like out in the rain constantly. And what we found is that, that destroys them. So I talked to David from RoboMow about that, and he confirmed that the AC adapters are not waterproof. Another recommendation for the factory, he said, because I've had a couple of them with my RS612 RoboMow. But anyway, and then the second thing that happened is the Yeti 400 itself, the AC adapter died. So when I brought it from the back porch out to the front, it was kind of waterlogged. It had a lot of water in it because I guess, again, that panel wasn't doing its job. So I dumped the water out, I took it apart, I cleaned it as best I could, and then I put it back together. And everything was working fine, right? Like the AC inverter was working fine, everything was great. But then I plugged in one of those AC adapters from the RoboMow Perimeter Stake, and it fried the inverter. Or at least, as far as I can tell, it fried the inverter. And I'll show what the LCD display is doing in a minute. But I called Yeti about it. They were like, yeah, take it apart, pull the fuses, right? I did that. They were like, put it back together, charge it up for 8 hours, which I don't understand what the purpose of that is since it already had a full charge. But I've done all of that and it's still broken. So I'm assuming at this point that the AC inverter is cooked. And it was actually the AC adapter from the perimeter stake that cooked it. And I know that because I swapped I pulled an AC inverter from, like a regular, like you use in a car. I had it from a previous vehicle that I was using. And it plugs into the cigarette lighter. I'll show that in a minute. And you just plug your AC adapter into that. And so I did that after I'd fried the Yeti 400's inverter, and that AC inverter would shut down every time I plugged it in. And you could tell that it would shut down because it's got a fan on it that keeps it cool, and the fan would like just totally shut off. And so what I did was I took the AC adapter off of my perimeter stake, because they're removable. They've got a little plug inside. You've got to take them apart. It's like a clamshell. You take it apart and then you can pull the plug, and I'll show how I do that. So I took the AC adapter out and I swapped it with another AC adapter, with another Perimeter Stakes AC adapter. And that one worked fine in the little portable DC to AC inverter from the car that I had. But again, my Yeti 400 inverter is still fried, so that's fun. So anyway, yeah, lesson learned here is be careful with water. It'll destroy electronics pretty quickly. RoboMow customer service has been great. I think they're actually shipping me out a new perimeter stake. Always great customer service with them. I do wish that the products were a little bit more robust so that I didn't have to get replacement parts as often. But it's very, very nice that they don't bat an eye. They never make me pay a dime to like replace one of these parts. So, and I assume that they're coming out with better parts soon. It must be an iterative design process, I would hope. I haven't contacted Yeti about the inverter yet. Now that I've tried the two things that they gave me to try. So probably what I'll do is I'll take it apart more thoroughly and I'll do a video on that. And I'll see if I can find, it says that a fuse is blown, so I'll see if I can find, the two 60 amp fuses are not blown. But I did notice that there's like a little red fuse on one of the control boards that's actually soldered to the board. I thought that was weird. So maybe I'll try taking everything apart and seeing if that fuse is fried, and maybe I can like solder it, solder a new one on there or something. We'll see. But anyway, I'll do that in another video. So for the rest of this video, enjoy, green grass and my RoboMow, and looking at the carnage that has ensued from this week of rain. Anyway, let's get to it. So this is my RoboMow. It is diligently mowing my lawn right now. I've got this small patch of lawn here, and I just, I use it to mow this space. So in order to do that, what I do is I have these perimeter wires set up. This is one of the RoboMow perimeter wires, and it's just got a little power button, and it's got this little wall wart or AC to DC adapter. I have to get out of the way because the RoboMow is mowing, and I don't want to get my feet chopped off. Kind of dangerous. Anyway, so it's got this little AC to DC adapter, right? And this is my Yeti 400 here. And normally I would have it plugged into these AC ports on the front of the Yeti 400. But what happened was, they say that these things are supposed to be waterproof, or at least when I called and asked about them, the RoboMow guy said that he thought that they were waterproof. I was a little dubious because I didn't see any seals or anything, and frankly, it doesn't seem like it was constructed in a waterproof manner. So I just left them out here without any protection. I was going to build like a little slate doghouse or something using a wet saw, but he said it would be fine. He said he thought it would be fine. He didn't say it would be fine. He said he thought it would be fine. So I just, I left him. Well, I came out here today to mow, and I plugged it into the front of the Yeti 400 into these power adapter ports. Thankfully, my mower has stopped mowing at this point, so I can just show you without fear of getting my ankles bitten off. So you can see the LCD here. Says 7 watts of output, right? Now if I hit this AC button, look at that. I've got a power plug indicator there. which is right there. And then I've also got an AC bang sign indicator. And that basically means that the inverter's fried. Or at least, that's what I think it means, because it's no longer putting out AC current. I checked it with one of those household AC current checker things. You know, you plug it in there and it beeps if there's current. I've shown that thing off in some of my other videos. Anyway, so what I did was, in order to continue mowing my lawn, I had this other AC inverter that's a DC, you know, it just plugs into like your cigarette lighter in your car. So I had this thing laying around from a previous vehicle. So I plugged it in, and what I found was, it was actually the wall wart that destroyed the AC inverter. I thought at first that it was all the water that had gotten in here. I mean, I tried to clean it out, but I thought that maybe it was all the water that got in here that destroyed it. But it turned out the AC adapter also tripped this one and turned it off. And so I took apart the AC adapter. Let's see if I can show it right here. Yeah, there it is. I took apart this guy, and you know, there was all kinds of water in here and everything. So this thing, these are definitely not waterproof by any means. And if anybody tells you that, you know, don't believe it, because they're definitely not waterproof. Now, they've got these plugs on the end of them, and that allows you to swap these out. So I've got this perimeter wire over here. I'll just show how I did this. You got this perimeter wire. Get that out of the way. Get this out of the way so the camera can see. There we go. And what you do is you can take off this cover here on these RoboMow Perimeter Stakes, and there's a circuit board in there, right? Pretty basic. And you can see this cable goes all the way up here to the wall wart. I call them wall warts. AC to DC converter or adapter. Anyway, so what you can do is you can just pull this little plug right here, and there's your DC cable. So I just swapped out the adapter here, because this one still works, thankfully. And that's how I finished mowing my lawn. So if this ever happens to you, you know, yay. Unfortunately, my AC inverter is still broken. So I got the short-term problem fixed. I got the lawn mowed, but my long-term problem is that now I have to, you know, maybe they'll replace it under warranty or something. I don't know, but you know, it's not Goal Zero's fault that it. I mean, it's kind of Goal Zero's fault that it died, right? Because this adapter just shuts down if it's got a short. This one allowed the AC inverter to fry. So this thing seems to be not as robust as this cheapo little CyberPower AC inverter that I bought for my car. I'm not sure why that is. You know, I guess different circuits, right? Different circuits built different ways. So anyway, so the lessons here are twofold. One, don't leave these things out in the rain. They fill up with water. Don't even leave them underneath a solar panel. It looks like it's kind of a roof for it, but it's not. It doesn't work. Hard rain will still get in there, and you'll be all waterlogged. You don't want that to happen to your, you know, your precious solar generator. It's too valuable. Second lesson is these RoboMow Perimeter Stakes are not waterproof. Don't treat them like they are. Build a hut for them. You know, put a roof over them somehow. Keep the rain out. Remove them from the ground even if you're not using them. That would work too. I mean, that's a pain. They you can see down here, there's like a little hole right there. Get that leaf out of the way. There's a little hole right there, and if you take a pen or something and you stick it in there, then this whole plastic assembly comes off of the stake that's in the ground. So you could possibly remove the whole thing, but you know, you gotta remove the front cover to do that, right? And you gotta disconnect the perimeter wire down at the bottom. So now your perimeter wire is left open to the elements. It's gonna, you know, corrode and rust, and you know, I mean, it's copper, so it's not gonna rust, but it's gonna corrode. So I would just build a roof over them, I think. I think that's probably what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go with that slate set up. All right, so this is mildly interesting. I talked before about how the AC adapter was bad on the other one. This is the perimeter stake that I have for the other lawn. It's the one that does this lawn on the left over here normally. I have it swapped out for the good one right now because this one is actually bad. It won't power up. Usually when they power up, a little light comes on and you hit a button, you hit this power button on the front here, and it beeps. Well, this one, the light doesn't come on and it doesn't beep, using the same power adapter that powers the other one. So this one's bad for some reason. Now the interesting thing is, I mentioned before that both of these were out in the rain, and I mentioned before that the AC adapter that broke clearly isn't waterproof. However, these things are semi-waterproof. The actual body of the unit here is semi-waterproof, and I'll show you that. Like clearly on the back here, it's not waterproof. There's no gasket seal right here. You know, that might deter water, but it's certainly not going to, you know, it's completely open right here. It's certainly not going to waterproof anything, right? And they're open on the bottom where that adapter comes out, and also where the power cable comes out. So the back of these is completely unprotected, right? However, when you take off all the screws and lift this out, look at that. You can see that it does in fact have a gasket on this side. So that's mildly interesting, I suppose. So this one failed. I don't know why this failed, because it looks like this gasket is intact. It looks like the seal is intact. All of the components on this side look like they're in pristine condition. I suppose I could get my multimeter out and start testing leads and stuff, but I'm not an electrical engineer. I'm not good at that. I'm a software engineer. So I wouldn't really know what I was doing. So I don't know why this one failed, but they are semi-waterproof. The AC adapters don't have any seals at all from what I could see, but the bodies do. So that's kind of interesting. All right, so third lesson learned. All right, so third lesson learned is I broke my back window on my truck, and that really sucks. That's an expensive mistake. I priced out this is a 1971 Chevy C10 long bed pickup. So it's old, and you know, pretty much the only place that has a lot of parts for it that I know of is lmctruck.com. I bought a lot of parts from them, and you know, they work pretty well. I priced out the new window, the new back window assembly for this, and it's like, I don't know, something crazy like $350 for the window assembly and the gasket shipped. So yeah, and then that's not even installation. I mean, I'm gonna check around on YouTube and see if I can do the installation myself, but I don't know, I don't always have time. I might have to pay somebody. So that's like another 125 bucks if I pay somebody to do it. So not a lot of fun there. How did it break, you ask? I'm glad you asked. So I've got another video about this SoftTopper that I have installed on the back of the truck. SoftTopper.com. It's great. I like it. It's waterproof. The sides fold up. The whole thing folds down if you need like more vertical height. So like when I put a mountain bike in there, I fold the whole thing down. What happens is when you fold it down, the bar comes down below the window here, and when you go to fold it back up, it catches on the bottom lip of the window. And that's normally okay, but if you're not careful, what happens is when it catches, if you yank it, it comes up and slams into the glass. It's just like a hammer. So that's what happened. I was raising the top up and it slammed into the glass and broke it. So anyway, lessons learned. It's been kind of a hard week. Learn from my mistakes. Don't do what I do. Anyway, this is Jesse with Create This. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.